Now, I have a feeling that, yes, this is going to just be like every other, um, Street Fighter 6 character. The first trailer they show is just, um, the World Tour story trailer. So you're not going to get any gameplay from this, but we will get, some personality. We're going to get the design. We're going to get, some flavor, some story hints, etc., etc. So let's see what we're working with. I think people are looking for them to redeem Ingrid, to like make people turn around and like Ingrid, which, you know, with in the wake of cousin fucker Alex could be easy, right? I mean, it's a lot easier. I mean, who it's easy to be better than someone who bangs their own cousin, right? Um, Granted, this is made by the same writing team who decided to make Alex into a cousin fucker. So who knows what the Street Fighter team is thinking as far as character writing, right?
This world is supposed to be completely uninhabited.
Hey, it's Johnny World Tour.
Odd, though. How did a Terran like you end up in a whole other world?
Did we get
I
isekai'd?
thought I'd never, ever, ever see you again. Curiouser and curiouser. Now I understand. Touching this monoid has linked our fates. Maybe we should revisit this another time. Not that you'd understand anyway. But for now, we should be able to send you back to your world without a hitch. Simply put, since you're now the sole occupant of this wide and empty world, if I consign said world to oblivion, you should remain totally free from harm. Now, this is not a goodbye. As long as our fates are linked, we can meet again. Should you wish to do so, seek out my monoids. Until next time, sayonara.
Sayonara. Now that's power scale. Yeah, it is, isn't it? That's kind of white people strongly disliking her. That's crazy. This is a crazy spread of recommendeds after Love how the recommended is why people hate her. Yeah, I feel like I've seen. Yeah, that's the thing. You've probably seen. This is what she used to look like, right? You know, in fact, maybe let's see if jmcrofts can explain it better than I could, right? He'll give you at least some visual
Folks, in
aids.
case you missed it, we have gotten the announcement for Season 3 of Street Fighter 6 DLC. In case you didn't see this really crazy trailer with Kenny Omega dressing up as all the characters. But at the end here, when we got the full reveal of all of them, I feel like there's one character amongst these four that has gotten kind of a mixed reception. And that is, of course, Ingrid. You know, we've got a Street Fighter 2 character, a Street Fighter 3 character, a Street Fighter 4 character, And then Ingrid, who is not really from Street Fighter at all. So I wanted to talk about why I feel like Ingrid has a reputation of kind of being a
Alex, regular dude with rated hands. Ingrid, space goddess. Yeah, that's the thing. Ingrid apparently can just warp reality and like create and destroy like little at the very least pocket dimensions, if not actual worlds, at least like small scale like mini realms. And so like who is actually beating her in a street fight then at that point? Like, is it like a Slayer in Guilty Gear situation where she's like humoring you and pretending to get beat up? It's an
black
interesting
sheep, a character that a lot of the old school players, especially in the FGC, really do not care for or think she might not fit in Street Fighter 6. So why is that? We're going to discuss all the reasons why certain Street Fighter players strongly dislike Ingrid. So like I said, Ingrid is not really a Street Fighter character in the technical sense. Originally, she was going to be in a game called Capcom Fighting All-Stars, which actually got canceled. There is some footage of Ingrid in that game out there. But yeah, we never really got the full game. Instead, we got Capcom Fighting Evolution, which is a crossover game, and Ingrid was playable in that.
That's a
and
fucking
not only is this game generally very disliked, I made a whole video about it. Yeah, this game is considered, I would say, one of the worst Capcom kind of mainline, big deal fighting games. It has really bad graphics. Some of the characters feel really incomplete. The gameplay feels super clunky. And not only that, Ingrid is not even like a good character in this. She is usually considered in the lower half of the tier list. She has a bunch of weird things, like her fireballs all go up, right? So you would think she would have like some horizontal range on her fireballs, but no, she has this one that like barely goes forward. Short characters can duck under it, and then her other ones just go up at an angle, which is really not good for most matchups. She relies a lot on
have we never brought back
counters,
Hauser?
Which, it can be kind of good, because if you actually land it, you do get a combo off it, which is quite nice, but it's just very high risk to have to go for these, and you do have to guess high-low. Both versions lose to grab. They have a lot of punishable recovery. So overall, I think a counter-oriented game plan just really didn't work out for her. Her combos are also very weak. This is basically like her bread and butter. Like, that's it. Does very little damage. She can do this as well. But, yeah, overall, she doesn't have good combos. She has a couple decent, like, long-range-ish moves, but just no damage. And yeah, she has some nice air moves, but the hip...
If they had announced Season 3 with fucking Hauser as one of the characters, shit would have popped off so crazy. Give me a fucking dinosaur Street Fighter right the fuck now. My favorite Ingrid is her Karen skin in Street Fighter 5. That's where we should keep some of these characters. Keep them as references. How about that?
Boxes on these can be really jank. A lot of times you're going to be unsafe on block. A lot of times they just whiff over the opponent's head. So, yeah, this game, not a beloved game. In fact, a generally hated game. And this is basically the only game that you can play as Ingrid, asterisk, for the most part. There actually is one other game where you can play as her, technically, and it's Alpha 3 Max, which is the PlayStation Portable only version of Alpha 3.
I have had the displeasure of playing this port before. And I say displeasure not because it's a bad game. It is technically the most feature complete version of Street Fighter Alpha that exists. But because you are playing with the PSP and you have the tiny analog stick nub, it is literally torture to physically play. It is painful to try to fucking spin out an Hadoken in this fucking game on your tiny little PSP. It is the worst. It's the worst.
So, yeah, only on portable, which is a little bit awkward. And this kind of brings me into another reason why I feel like people strongly dislike Ingrid, which is her lore. What little of it exists is a little bit strange. So first of all, they rarely ever explain much about Ingrid at all, who she is, what she's doing in these games, which I guess makes sense because she is kind of a crossover character. She's not a native Street Fighter character. But basically what you find out when you beat the game is that she is a super powered time traveler. So she travels across different time periods. At the end of the game, she goes to the future to go fight Ryu with the Satsui no Hado. She goes to 21X.
What?
Yeah, kind of crazy. I feel like a time traveler in a Street Fighter game is a little bit weird. And overall, I think people see her as a little bit like overpowered. Like, you know, she has like godlike powers. She can time travel. Here in Project X Zone 2. You know, again, they don't explain her backstory. Yeah, her complicated backstory that totally exists for real. They don't really explain it, but she has the power to send people into different points in time and get them back where they belong. So she feels
Oh God, slender. Again, anime ass Chris. Why is it that putting RE characters into an anime art style always looks a little cursed?
very powerful and like very, I don't really know how to describe it. Like, you know, she's just too powerful for the Street Fighter universe, perhaps. And that brings me to the next reason I see a lot of people say that they don't like Ingrid, and that is because she feels pretty out of place for a Street Fighter game. At least so they say. She kind of seems like she would belong more in a KOF game, right? Characters tend to be a little more anime, a little more magical, super powered in SNK games. Like, here we have Athena. She can also throw orbs. She also has, you know, psychic powers. She has, you know, these barriers. Many people say that Ingrid is very derivative of Athena, or that just in general, she feels like she's been inspired more by SNK characters than by Capcom characters. And, you know, Street Fighter, yeah, sure, people can throw fireballs. They have magic powers, but, you know, it's a little bit more down to earth and grounded. These are martial artists at the end of the day. This is a street fight, guys. This isn't a super magical girl Sailor Moon fight, right?
We did mention that watching the trailer, where it's like she's literally opening Kingdom Hearts style doorway portals. Like, what is Johnny World Tour learning from her? Is Johnny World Tour literally learning how to ascend to a higher state of being? Is Johnny World Tour ever going to be the same? Is he just going to be a different level of existence by the time we hit Master with her? What are the implications of learning under Ingrid at that point? Are we going to become a magical boy? Is he like, are we a are we a student or are we a warlock? Is she our master or is she our patron?
Well, I don't actually know. I feel like that might not really be true for Street Fighter anymore the way it was back in the Street Fighter 2 era. Like, here we have another character who many people at the time said felt more at home in an SNK game than in a Capcom game, and that's C. Viper. I haven't seen anybody upset at all about C. Viper coming back. I think for the most part, people are very excited to see her again. But this was definitely a criticism levied against her back in the day, was that, you know, she's too crazy, she's too anime. Her outfit, she looks like K-Dash. She does not look like a Street Fighter character, nor does she really play like one. She has, you know, super jump cancels and like feinting combos and stuff. So yeah, Viper is a really crazy character who, at the time, I think felt back in 2009 or 2008 that, yeah, she didn't really feel like a Street Fighter character either. But now we've come around and we all kind of love Viper now, at least so it seems. And let's not forget about Street Fighter 3 Third Strike. I mean, we got 12, who is like a crazy transforming blob man, and he also has an air dash, which is not very Street Fighter. So, yeah, I feel like the ship has sailed to a degree when it comes to characters like not feeling like Street Fighter characters. I don't really feel like that works anymore. What is a Street Fighter character anymore when we have characters like this? And overall, I would say Street Fighter 6 has done a
good. Fair points. Fair points. Fair points. It's not like Ingrid is the only wacky character. We do have magic. It is a matter of scale, though. Is a, you know, it's not. I think the emphasis should be put not on the type of like magic versus martial arts, but like like I said, the scale, like you said, Piro, it's like kind of D&D ish, where like this lady is at least being, unless it turns out that like we're on a drug trip and she's literally just making shit up. Like, she is a god, unless she's like an illusionist or some sort. Like, she is pulling some god level
Very
maneuvers.
good job rehabilitating characters, like Ed, for example. I would say was overall a fairly disliked character, or at least a character that people considered to be very forgettable in Street Fighter V. But now in Street Fighter 6, they gave him new special move inputs. They made him more of like a boxing type character. He doesn't actually have kicks anymore. He has crazy new combos with his level 2 super. So yeah, I think Ed is actually pretty beloved now, and he got a really cool redesign.
Well,
and same thing with DJ. DJ
he's beloved for the style. Unfortunately, people have turned on him since the inception of this video. This video came out 9 months ago. 9 months of top tier Ed later, and he's not quite as beloved anymore. But point still stands.
was one of the least played characters in Street Fighter 4, partially because he was one of the worst characters in the game. But yeah, I think a lot of people always thought of him as like Guile number 2. He's the other like Sonic Boom character with a upward kick. But they did so much to make DJ cool in this game. He has like the sway. He's got this new level
DJ
2, which has
definitely
like a mini game built in where you got to hit the buttons with perfect timing. Yeah, I think people really like DJ now, which is something that I would not have expected after basically never seeing anyone pick him in Street Fighter 4. So what could they do to rework Ingrid in Street Fighter 6? Well, first of all, I think they need to change her fireballs. Her fireballs just do not feel good to use. Like, I can kind of see an idea here where maybe you could like knock them down, throw out a fireball, and then when they block the fireball and wake up, you go pressure them. But it just doesn't really work because her fireballs are like duckable by so many characters that they only go up at this angle. Yeah, like they stay out on screen for a decent amount of time, but it's not that useful when they only go up into the air. So I think that's the number one thing I would change.
That's
like if she could be like a knockdown, mix-up Okizeme character, you put the fireball out, you start mixing them. I think that could be really cool, but yeah, it doesn't really work right now. Also, she really, really needs more special moves, okay? She only has fireball, counter, and the kicks. That's literally it. So essentially 3 special moves, 4 if you count high and low counter as different things, but I don't really. So her move set, her kit feels very, very limited, and she definitely needs more to work with. I think she should get 2 new special moves. I could even see her giving her like a new mechanic where she has to power herself up. Since she has essentially the Psycho Drive. That's like her superpower. She has what M. Bison uses to power his Psycho Drive in Street Fighter Alpha. She has that like in her magical glyphs, so maybe it's like you have to land the glyphs, and for each one you land, it powers up her moves or it powers up her super.
They're just gonna make her
I think that could be cool. Just an idea. But yeah, overall, I think the bones are there for them to make her into an interesting character. She could be like a poking style character. She has some good range on a lot of her moves. Maybe she can go for, mix-ups by forcing the opponent to block her fireball on wake up. Plus, she would have a counter mixed in that she can combo off of. I think that is a basic recipe.
Oh no. Oh no. It just clicked. I don't know why it took me this long for it to click, but it just clicked. She has a counter. I love counter characters. Oh no. Oh no, I'm gonna like playing as Ingrid gameplay wise. If they keep that, if they keep that and like integrate that into her gameplay and like actually make her a counter character. Oh no. Oh fuck. God damn it.
For a fun and interesting to play character, but yeah, playing her in Capcom Fighting Jam,
A
You
counter that you can combo off of for free? Oh no. It took me the entire video for that to fully register. About wacky characters, are we going to ignore Nikali? Nikali was so cool. Nikali was so cool. He's a fucking he was a pillar man who could turn Super Saiyan. That is the coolest fucking character of all time. And his super, he had two supers. The first one was Berserker Barrage, and then when he went Super Saiyan, it turned into a fucking Shao Sung, uh, fucking soul drain. Like, uh, it's and then the story mode jobbed him out so hard that he lost all aura he possibly could have. It's insane. I've never seen a character done so dirty since Kotal Khan. Ironically, it's always the Mesoamerican characters in fighting games that get fucking fucked royally. I don't understand why. It's that whole generation. It's that generation specifically that was like, no, fuck you, Kotal Khan, get in the wheelchair. Fuck you, Nikali, you will do nothing. We will replace you with Gil. He wanted to vor people. I like that. And then he didn't. He didn't get to kill a single person. He killed one nameless dude in his arcade mode, and that's it. And then he just got fucking destroyed by Ryu as part of his character arc. He wasn't even the final villain of his own game. It was just right back to Bison. Like, Nikali is the V. Like, Nikali's face is the V that makes up the V of Street Fighter V. Like, he is literally the poster boy of that game. And he doesn't even make it to the end of the story mode. Like, he doesn't even survive to the climax of the game he's supposed to be the poster child of. It's insane how dirty he gets done. It's ridiculous how dirty he gets done. Oh, the aura loss. Like the man, I've never seen a character get done so poorly in story that his player count went down.
know, it's just
Yeah, Nash too. Nash had the same thing. Like he was set up to be like, I'm gonna take out Bison, and then Bison just completely no-sold him so that it could go back to Ryu versus. It literally should have been flipped. It literally should have just Nash should have taken out Bison partway through the story, and then so that Nash could have served his purpose, and then Nikali should have stepped up to be the big like end game evil thing that Ryu had to like at the very end defeat. Like that would have been perfectly fine. We don't need another game where Bison is the ultimate villain. You can have him be there, sure, fine, whatever. But if it's gonna be Street Fighter 5, Street Fighter V, and it's literally this big monster man's glowing V face, make him the final fight.
not there just because the game plays so poorly. But I think that they could do her justice in Street Fighter 6. But what do you guys think? Are you excited for Ingrid, or which characters in Season 3 are you most excited for? Are you scared of her? Like Kenny Omega is? I wouldn't blame you. Oh my god. But yeah, as you can see, she does have kind of a new design, so I want to know what her new gameplay design is going to be as well. But we're going to have to wait a little bit. Sagat is coming first, so I'll be looking forward to that. And I appreciate you guys for sticking it out and watching through this whole video. Let me know what you think.
Also, I gotta say, 4 characters a year is so rough. Sagat was so long ago, and we're just now getting to Ingrid. We used to get 6 characters every year. with Street Fighter 5. One second.
Okay, let's rumble.
Ironically, with Alex, before he fucked his cousin. No competition anymore. I think it goes, it's partly,
No need for talk. Let's do this.
Granted, wow, Street Fighter 5 was kind of butt ugly. Oh man, this was a, like, ooh, this was a bad looking game. Oh man. People were kind of right when they said this was just Street Fighter 4 but made it play. B stands for big ass hands. Ooh, but Ibuki was cool. Also, one of the problems with Street Fighter 5 was that characters all only had one super instead of three. Which means if your character got a like shitty or underwhelming critical art, that's it. You were stuck with it. That's unfortunate. You know, at least nowadays you get like 3 chances at your character getting at least one cool super animation. I'll never forgive Capcom for Banana Hair Ken. Oh no, definitely not. They don't deserve it.
There's no escape.
Oh, that's right, Balrog was DLC, wasn't he? See, like Balrog's whole super is just a big punch. Which is like, damn, I hope you didn't want to see Balrog have a cool super this generation.
Well then, where do you want me to break you first?
Don't worry.
Ooh, they were so mean, making you pay extra for jury. They knew. You knew they wanted Street Fighter 6 to be the best-selling Street Fighter of all time, because they put jury-based roster. They were like, no, we could make you pay for jury for the rest of time. We could make jury DLC forever, but you know what? We'll give you brokies. We'll give you brokies a break. You will buy this game, though. You better fucking buy it. We'll put jury in the base roster, but you better fucking buy it on release. Everyone's like, yes, sir. Smug was the reason why I started playing SF5. He had such a fun Balrog. I played because of Armika. I feel like if Armika wasn't base roster, I might not have gotten Street Fighter V on release. Like, she's just so cool, and I want her back. Just the one slash is so bad! She doesn't even get her level 1. Her Street Fighter 4 Super slash Street Fighter 6 level 1. Oh, that's trash. And you were stuck with that for like 4 or 5 years. Oh, that's trash. It's garbage, and I'm eating garbage. And then Urian's cool. I never played Urian. I never learned Urian in any of his games. I'm not good at charge characters. I always kind of wanted to learn him because, like, Aegis Reflector is so cool. Like, I want a character with Aegis Reflector, but isn't, charge. Because I want to do stuff like that. That's cool. But I don't want to have to learn, like, charging, to be able to do Aegis combos. I can't look at Urian without thinking low-tier god. But yeah, that's what a season pass used to look like for fucking fighting games. You used to get 6 a year, and they did the same thing the year after. If you look at up there at that little screen thumbnail, like, it's such shit. And here's the thing, I understand why, to an extent, because so much more goes into a Street Fighter 6 character, because they come packed with, you know, a bunch of single-player content, right? And that's the video, everyone. If you've made it this far, remember to like, comment, subscribe, notify, share, engage, and hey, maybe even drop by the stream sometime if you want to catch me yapping live and unedited. And until next we meet, my fruits and nigglets, peace, love, we outcha.